So this has been announced today. Came out maybe a few hours ago. Ghostcrawler, the guy, used to be the lead dev of Warcraft during Mists of Pandaria. Made a lot of the dev water cooler posts. Left Blizzard, worked at Riot, was making the Riot MMO, and then he left Riot. He made his own company, and he's making his own MMO. And recently, Holinka, who also worked on WoW for many years, generally well-liked by the community, also came over and is making this game too. Let's take a look at it. All right.
This is Greg Street, aka Ghostcrawler. I have founded a new game studio that we call Fantastic Pixel Castle.
Okay.
And we plan to make an epic new MMO. Announcing our plans so early may seem a bit unusual, but we think the way to make the best possible game...
I'm gonna be honest, guys. Like, I didn't expect the graphics to be this good. Like, this is way better than what I thought it was gonna be.
...is by talking to you all, our community, early and often.
Mm-hmm.
That starts next week in a live stream.
This guy was involved in making Age of Empires 2.
We plan to share more about the studio, the team, and yes, the game itself. Now, we are early in development, so don't expect to see gameplay footage.
He's a real
But if you're interested in our philosophy and our game pitch, we'd love to see you there. We even plan to answer some of your questions live.
Okay. November 8th. Is there something I have to do on November 8th? Oh, fuck. I think I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure. But anyway, I'll look and figure it out. No gameplay footage? That's fine. I don't care about that. Let's go ahead and take a look at this, and we'll look at everything else. So this is the page, I guess. This is a YouTube channel, the page. If you care about Ghost, be interested in our studio, more than you can know here. Partner with players. Every iteration takes games to new heights. Foster a trusting work environment. Easy to speak up whenever you think differently. Having fun along the way. Oh, this is great. I mean, let's see what Ghostcrawler has to say about it on Twitter. We'll take a look at this right here and see if there's anything else that was happening, anything else that was stated. Let's see real quick. So he actually responded to some people saying it's like very early, and he said this. Apparently this person blocked me on Twitter. That's why I can't see their post. Wake me up on release day is a totally fine response. We still want you as part of our community, but we also wanted to take a stab at this in plain sight development for players who are interested in the day zero journey. Okay, let me see here. Choose it. Oh, wow. Okay. So this, oh my God. So they actually have a lot of stuff about this. Holy fuck. Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. Look at this. Our goals for Ghost. Okay, this is very interesting. Let's take a look at what they say about their game. As players, we're deeply in love with MMOs for their promise of social worlds, but we also feel that the genre has struggled lately to provide a community that you care about while still making your character feel heroic or special. We believe MMOs have moved too far towards solo adventuring, where other players just often slow you down. We want to bring back as essential pillars of the MMO experience, both playing with friends and building a community. We want to bring back the chance to impact the world around you. I think this is a generally good thing, and probably... okay, I have to... Okay, I understand now. I think this is a generally good thing. I think they should use classic WoW as a benchmark. Because I think having solo content in MMOs is, like, extremely fucking important. Like, if you look at, like, a lot of the things that I see recently, like with RuneScape, for example, there's tons of solo stuff with RuneScape. Look at the Mage Tower. I am a massive fan of solo content, but what he's saying here is a little bit different than that. He's not saying there's no solo content. What he's saying is that in classic WoW, let's say you're killing one Murloc every minute, okay, in classic WoW, and you're a warrior. Well, if you have a priest with you, you don't kill two Murloc. You don't kill any warlocks. You don't kill 2 Murlocs per minute. You kill maybe 3 or 4. So you have like a force multiplier on how fast you're progressing and how much progression you're making whenever you enlist the help of other people. And I think that's really what the game should have. Because how many of you guys, whenever you play current WoW right now, you're fighting an elite or you're fighting a rare spawn and somebody else tags it and the health goes up and you get mad? It's a symbiotic gaming experience. Well, it's more than that, right? It's, I'm at 100%, you're at 100%, but if we come together, we're not at 200%, we're at 300%. So it creates a serendipitous relationship rather than just a unnecessary existence. So that's the way I see it. So this is a very good thing, and this is, again, why Classic WoW is the greatest MMO ever made. It's because it's created that ability to do it. Let's see here. The world of Ghost. Imagine standing on the weathered cobblestones of an ancient city. In the sky above you are seemingly endless shards of broken worlds, a cornucopia of biomes that promise unlimited adventure and mystery. You are one of the survivors of an apocalypse lost to memory, and rebuilding the world now lies on your shoulders. In Ghost, you travel the world shards to power up your characters, bring back resources, and build your fledgling civilization. By growing and supporting the city's diverse and ever-changing factions, in turn, you'll see the city grow and evolve over time based on the... Oh, I can scroll. I didn't know that. Based on the choices and actions of players just like you, as an epic story unfolds season over season. World of Ghost is an original IP designed from the ground up to create rich and immersive gameplay. It's a fantasy world of heroic adventure where you seek clues to uncover the mysteries of the world and engage with allies and enemies who have diverse motivations, actions, and secrets. You will fight with axes, crossbows, and magic, but we do want to avoid the tropes of fantasy that you've already seen hundreds of times. For example, there will be no elves or orcs in Ghost. We are pouring our passion into our IP development early in order to build something that you can enjoy for decades to come. This is interesting, but I don't think that it's necessary. I don't want to see them try to reinvent the wheel and avoid traditional fantasy tropes, because probably you're going to have a million traditional fantasy tropes. The truth is that, especially with like the way Tolkien is in a lot of ways like the godfather of modern fantasy. Like him, there's obviously mythology as well, but like he's created a lot of what people use even now. And it's so hard to get that DNA out of fantasy, and I don't think that you should. You don't need to. It's good. That's the reason why people have been using it for like over, what, 100 years or something? So yeah, I mean, there's dragons. Yeah, I mean, shit, there it is. No procedurally generated races in general. So you can scroll down to first one as well. Really? I didn't see that. Okay, yeah, that's about it. There's nothing else really about that. So Tolkien world building is amazing. Sure, but League of Legends doesn't have elves. League of Legends might not have elves, but it probably has characters in League of Legends that look like elves, right? Like, they do. Okay, so then they have kind of Janna's like an elf. Okay, yep. Is that that? Right. So you want to call them a different name, that's fine, but they're still elves and they're still orcs. So, let's see here. I'll talk a little bit more about this. In general, I don't think that they need to reinvent the wheel. And I'm very curious to know how something like this is going to work. Because I always, like... I am very concerned whenever I see somebody talking about how the players are going to impact each other. And the reason why is because usually that's something that happens too fast at the beginning and too slow whenever the game matures. New World. Yeah, I think New World is actually, like, New World has tried a lot of these ideas, like with having different factions, etc. And it just didn't really work, man. I'm going to be honest. It just didn't really work. So I think they should try it. And also, classic WoW, hardcore WoW isn't working with factions. It's not. And people are playing on PvE realms. And even the PvP realms that exist in Classic WoW are primarily PvE realms. Like, look at this right here. You look at a lot of these realms, and you want to talk about just only PvP realms, right? Almost every single PvP realm here is completely one-sided. There is not a single PvP realm that has a balanced population where I can guarantee you it is not fun to play the game if you are being outnumbered, like, 3 to 5. It's like, imagine doing a 3v3 match and the other team is a 5v5. So look at this. And that's kind of where I'm trying to get at here. And oh, this is classic era. And you look at a lot of these are like very, like, actually I think these are relatively healthy populations, to be honest with you. I'm kind of surprised, but I don't know exactly how this works. Are these actually healthy? Yeah, this is actually very good. I mean, to be honest with you, this is extremely good. They're clustered together. Oh, they're all basically the same thing, right? Okay, yeah, 53-47 actually seems pretty good. I mean, yeah, maybe this isn't really true with everything, but it has been for a long time. And at least historically, that's been the case. Anyway, so whenever I see factions being used in a game, I think of New World, I think of Classic WoW, and it seems like maybe this is working a little bit in Era, but in a general sense, I don't really think it happens. I don't think it works very well at all. And it ends up where one faction becomes the dominant faction, everybody plays that faction, and then that's it. It's possible, it just needs good implementation. Most MMOs have shit implementation. Yeah, exactly. So why would you judge on, you know, oh, we're going to be the one that's gotten it right. So yeah. Anyway, that's one thing that I'm kind of concerned about. Other than that, I think this is always good. Like, is there actual, like, can you build, like, structures where it says you bring back resources and build your fledgling civilization? I'm actually really curious about this. Like, how's it going to work? Are there going to be survival elements to it or what? I think that the survival-based games that have building and crafting in them, having a merge between that and an MMO is something that a lot of people are looking forward to. And I don't think anybody's really kind of nailed that down, or at least not that I've played. So we'll see what's going to happen. Scroll down first page. There's nothing important. Conflict in the Shardlands. Okay, this is the third thing that they're talking about. In our game, you will alternate between private realms that we're calling blue shards for you and your friends, and more public red shards that deliver a more traditional, massively multiplayer experience. Blue shards play a bit more like a survival game. You and your friends can gather resources, construct bases. Okay, here we go. And venture out into the wilderness. Blue shards are extremely variable, ensuring a place of full new discoveries and challenges, guaranteeing that you'll never see the same blue shard twice. Okay, so this is they're procedurally generated. Is that how it works? I don't know. Because blue shards belong to you, your effects on them are persistent and permanent. If you prefer a more competitive experience, you can host or join blue shards focused on guild rivalry or even guild versus guild PvP. So is it like, let's say you have a Valheim. You have your Valheim world, and then you can build a portal out of your Valheim world and then go into the MMO version of Valheim and then bring that stuff into it. Because that's kind of the way it seems. That sounds really cool. It's a really cool idea. Would it work? I don't know. Red shards, crafted by some of the best world artists and encounter designers to provide a signature massive multiplayer experience, so many players at once. Red shards are some of the most challenging places in the game to survive, so your group will need to band together with other groups to defeat world bosses, collect critical resources, and even open the gates to end-game raiding instances. We expect some of you to prefer blue shards or red shards, but the core way to play Ghost is to travel between both regularly, as well as Ghost Central City. What is this really going to be like? It's a hub MMO? I think a game with a hub is okay. The blue is more solo and red is more multiplayer? Yeah. Blue is more farming and like kind of solo gameplay oriented, and red shards are more multiplayer gameplay oriented. I don't know. Do you think Trinity should be in the game? I honestly think the only game to do something without the like tank healer DPS meta Trinity is Lost Ark that I've played. I think Lost Ark is really good at not having that, but they do kind of have that with like Gunlancer and like Bard and Paladin. BDO as well. Yeah, I haven't played BDO enough to really understand that. So I think that honestly, it's just generally better to go with the Trinity. That's what my honest opinion is. I don't want to see them try to reinvent the wheel. I don't want to see them try to like do something totally new or different. Just do what everybody else does do what works, and then stick with that. If they think that's not going to work, or that's not what their vision is, and they should do what their vision is. But personally, I don't see a problem with just doing what works. I like hero, but I generally dislike tank implementation. If they use the Trinity, it says so in one of their later titles. Oh, really? Okay. You should watch Down Rabbit Hole and Eve. Yeah, I'm not going to watch that. Please stop the same thing. It gets boring after a week after launch, just like New World. I don't know. I mean, people have played WoW for years. I mean, yeah, like, what the fuck? Yeah, they played WoW for years, so I don't know. I think it's fine. I think it's the implementation of it is bad. New World is boring on release, though. Yeah, New World, by the way, New World's implementation of, like, the tank healer DPS meta is, like, kind of bad. Yeah, I don't think it's good at all. Anyway, let's look at the rest of it. Conflict and Shadowlands, so that's basically it. Fitting into your life. We know there are sweaty raiders out there who will be excited to invest hundreds of hours into Ghost. Awesome. You'll have plenty of things to do, including making new characters, discovering new blue shards with different in-game changing rules, and of course, raiding. We know others of you like to play lots with amazing games, lots of other amazing games in addition to Ghost. Our story unfolds in chapters, so when you finish a chapter, that's a great time to take a break, and no, you won't get left behind when the new chapter comes out. So, a game where people are supposed to come back and forth into, I wonder how it's going to be monetized. Like, I also think, like, this art right here, this is really cool, man. This looks badass. Here's my problem. WoW did something very right, but we didn't realize what that something was. I think that you can look at what it was and kind of have an idea, right? Yeah, I don't know what else to say. I mean, shit. Let's see here. It looks very generic. I don't know. I like it. Anyway, so, play with a group of friends who take the game. MMO is notorious for throwing up barriers to playing with friends, whether that's factions, servers, power levels, class mechanics, and so on. Ghost is designed so that the moment that you first log in, you can be playing with friends both old and new. So that means there's probably some form of scaling, or are they talking... Like, I don't know, dude. I don't know what this is going to be. If I get to interview anybody here, I'm going to ask these questions, right? Because, like, I'm not really that big of a fan of scaling. I'm kind of not. I'm okay with, like, some in-game zones, or some zones being scaled up for in-game players, but I like the idea of, like, going through different zones in different areas. That's why D4 sucks. No, it's not. Let's see here. Multitudes of classes, lots of ways to play Ghost. It's extremely alt-friendly, so the time invested in one character benefits all... Oh, this is really nice to hear. Okay, so they're going with a roster system rather than character-specific progression. That is really, really nice to see. Nice to hear, I was gonna say. Yeah, that's great. Huge W. And this matters because there are dozens of character classes in Ghost. Our hope is you can find a class that really speaks to you. There will be many ways to fill tanking, healing, and damage dealing roles, some of which will be iconic and some of which will be a little weird. While you have several class options when Ghost launches, even more will be available as rewards within the game. Having a new class to try out is a great way to play with different groups of friends. Ghost Combat combines updated control schemes and UI with classic targeting and combat strategy we all love in RPGs. While not every challenge will need to be overcome with violence, we get that that great combat is critical to RPG longevity, and we are investing a lot of effort and playtesting into this core gameplay feature. Hit me up. I'll tell you if it sucks dick or not. Because yes, combat is what it's all about. Our goal is to move as quickly as we can into development, and we have many advantages that will help bring Ghost to you faster than it is for typical AAA games, and we will include you into early development and are committed to making even major changes based on your feedback. We will bounce ideas off interested players from time to time, and whenever we're ready for playtesters, we will absolutely make sure that you know. This is big. Our initial development efforts are focused on PC. That's it. That is very nice. You love to see it. We plan to ship our game globally and localize into many languages. Going into a lot of detail into, we don't worry about, don't worry about excessive gacha mechanics and those loot boxes pay to win. Oh, fuck, guys. Yeah, well, we had a good run, right? Unbelievably excited about this opportunity to make this game with you and for you and with you. Yeah, there it is. And then there's the team right there. You've got it. So, what do you guys think about this? Yeah, how do you guys feel about the game so far? We've looked at everything now, everything that they've released. What do you think? I think that, like, kind of... It's too early. Yeah, it's like, what do we even really know about this? Like, I just don't understand. Looking forward to seeing more of it. Yeah, I want to see more of it. It's too early. I have no idea what to think about this. Pantheon Part 2? There's no reason to say that. Pantheon was intentionally trying to be old school. This one isn't. It's funded by NetEase, by the way. That's fine. Feels like a bunch of text with average MMO wish list so they can pique our interest. Yeah, but I mean, they've got a whole studio together and everything like that. Most modern MMOs should be released on consoles as well. I am a massive fan of cross-platform gameplay. I think WoW would be better off if you could play it on console. And before you say, oh, it's impossible, Final Fantasy, you can play it on console and it's fine. So yeah, you should be able to do that. Fuck console? Why? Why is console bad? Like, there's nothing wrong with it. More players is always good. Yes, exactly. Sounds a little bit too ambitious for the no fantasy tropes, to be honest. Sounds like PR fluff. Yeah, I hope they don't try to lean into that too much. I think fantasy tropes are totally fine. The reason why the tropes are the reason why people they're tropes is because they're popular. People like them. So yeah. Bro, you always shit on consoles? Yeah, I do. I mean, console players are an inferior species of human beings, but they're still human beings who deserve to play video games. Yeah, they're inferior, but they still deserve to be able to play a game. I mean, shit. Yeah, come on, guys. What are you, racist? Let's see here. Do you have any insight about the Riot MMO or why did Ghostcrawler leave? It probably was either between design decision differences or because of, like, family stuff, it seemed. Let's see here. What if you play on all platforms? Well, then, I don't know. Then you probably don't have a girlfriend. Don't on console, don't on PC. I'm just done with them putting up shitty versions of games. I'm just upgrading. Yeah, for sure. Let's see here. You have twice the reptilian. Yeah, there you go. Scroll down more, please. That's it. This is it. This is the whole thing. That's the whole page. That's the only info that we really have. I am very excited about this. I'm very curious to see what it's going to be. I hope that they do not try to reinvent the wheel. Don't try to go and do everything new and like, oh, well, this is going to be totally different. Sounds a lot like Wayfinder, to be honest. You know what? I was thinking that too. What do you guys think? Does this sound like Wayfinder at all to you? Wayfinder looks okay. Yeah, I don't know. Kind of, yeah. It's not a good thing. Well, I think it's okay. Like, I put a lot of hours in the Wayfinder. I have 83 hours in the game. They're releasing a boss, the Reaver King, soon. And so, yeah. I think it's a good game. 83 hours in a row is nothing, though. How much was sponsored? Like 10? It was less. Like 5. Yeah. Oh, it's already up? Yeah, I'll look and see. Fuck all MMOs, only love for hardcore. There you go. Let's see here. Some of the artwork reminds me of Debauchery Tea Party Guild from Log Horizon. Yeah, I could see that. I mean, in like an abstract way. I mean, not a lot, but I can see what you're saying. Sure. Let's see here. Same vibe, yeah. Let's see, Log Horizon's based off of Earth. Yes, it is. The mobile game just dropped. Oh boy. This Sword Art Online, given to floating islands, I'm scared a bit too many of small hub instances that aren't big or MMO-like. Yeah, I think so too. I'm concerned about that as well. Personally hate New World's combat as a weapon class system. I think that they should go with tab targeting. I'm gonna say it. I think that you should go with tab. Okay, so this is, I'm going to give an extended explanation of why I think it's a good idea. So this is what I think should happen. I think that you should have auto attacks and basic attacks be on a tab targeting where you can lock onto an enemy, but your skill shots and the attacks that you actually need to that do a lot of damage, they need to be aimed directly. Kind of like a really good example of this is like, you know, like in WoW, how mages have that arcane orb that they can shoot out? That's basically what I mean. Or, you know what another great example of this is? Shockwave in WoW. Just Shockwave, right? Like the Warrior Shockwave. You aim it, and it hits. And if it hits 3 people, it goes down in cooldown in Wrath. I think actually it's like that in retail now too. Yeah. Lost Ark in general, yes. But you should be able to have your auto attack, because I think games do need auto attacks. Because auto attacks helps the gap between bad players and good players be smaller. And you, like, MMOs are not meant for professional players. These are meant for generally casual players that are not super fast, like hyperactive. You know, that's something like Elden Ring. Those are the solo challenges in the game, but the base combat shouldn't be built around that. And so also, there is an exception to this. PvP. I think in PvP, I really, really like how an archer or a mage plays in New World PvP. And I think that you should have to aim every spell and every attack. But I think that obviously they should do way more damage. But that's only in PvP. No? You guys don't like that? That's why they're dog shit in PvP? I don't know. I think they're higher skill cap. I mean, maybe you could have it to where, like, you could have a separate option. Maybe something like this, right? How would you guys feel about if there was an option to take away the targeting, but it would make the auto attacks do way more damage in PvP? Why can't you just have both? I don't know. I feel like you could just have both, right? I mean, fuck. No, just make one? I don't know. I mean, yeah, I like a stance. I think it's silly. I don't think so at all. Mobile games out? Oh, boy. Too inconsistent? It should be the same. Only crit by aiming. Oh, that's interesting. I like that. Yeah, that's very cool. Only crit by aiming. Well, anyway, I'm not sure really what would work in general, but I do think that you should have some form of tab targeting no matter what. And the reason why I think that you need tab targeting is because the people that play MMOs are generally bad at video games. They're generally older. And if you don't have tab targeting, people can't keep up. You get a lot of people here talking about how tab targeting is. Say that to BDO players. BDO isn't a popular MMO. Final Fantasy and World of Warcraft are popular. BDO is nothing compared to those two games, and those two games are tab targeting. What about New World? I think New World should do the same thing with auto attacks. Bad at video games? Funny statement. Too generic. But it's true though, right? Because a lot of the people that play MMOs aren't like super good at these games. Like they're not insanely good. Because like they're not really competitive games. Like I don't think that you should make the game super competitive, really hard to play, where like people that are really good can like just be massively way better than everybody else. Like you should of course have ways that players that are good can express that. But to the extent that it's like a massive difference, it just makes the game worse. Like, look at Retail WoW. I don't want to see that happen. It's too much. Yeah, just look at Hardcore Deaths. The players are not good. Good example. Yeah, and that's why Hardcore WoW and Classic WoW is the greatest game ever made. It's that simple. You gonna play Blue Protocol Beta? Yeah, of course I am. BDO isn't so much an MMO with Western content like Dungeons and Raids. It's an Eastern-style MMO with grinding. They just recently started to add dungeon-type content. Yeah, I mean, I haven't really played a lot of BDO. But yeah, anyway, that's generally the way I look at things, and that's the way I think about it. What do you guys think? Are you guys excited about this, or what? I would say that I am cautiously optimistic right now. I hope it's good. Will it be good? I don't know. Well, we'll see what happens. Genshin allows tab targeting and also allows you to manually aim. You can manually aim to get headshots for more damage. It's crazy how people were telling me that wouldn't work. Yeah, I didn't know that. Yeah, okay, great. Let's see here. Ghostcrawler now has had W in a long time. Yep, for sure. There's not enough to be excited about. Well, I don't think there's not enough not to be excited about either. I think that we'll just have to wait and see what happens. But yeah, this does look very good. Yeah, absolutely.